Okay, Alejandra. Is incredible Catalina's story, no?
It's amazing. She's so proud, so strong, really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Her story, yes.
Story in Rio and now in Sao Paulo has been great, very good. No, I knew that she was going to succeed and all that, no, but the way she has done it is really I am very uh, satisfied. I am proud of her, no, that she managed and to pass that exam only with a few lessons of Portuguese. No, it was amazing, excellent.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Ernesto.
Mhm. Yes,
Hi, Alejandra. Hi, Amanda. We're back.
yes, they are
Hello,
back.
everyone.
Okay. Okay, let's give some seconds for the rest to come.
Yeah,
We will
okay.
continue listening to Catalina. No, but really, I am very proud. Excellent, Catalina. Okay.
Thank you. For me, Ernesto was kind of a coach, I was telling you, because I was kind of saying, like, kind of quitting at the time. I was really, my mind was so mixed up, and he helped me to be focused. He helped me a lot in that. So, and he insisted, and he still insists that we can get the better, like the best option that we imagine it can be done. And he insists with that. So that's a really good thing that I really thank you for. I'm
Yes.
really grateful for that.
Mhm. And this is only the beginning. This is only
Okay.
the beginning. You're going to make a nice career in Sao Paulo or anywhere you go because you deserve it and you know how to do it. And I know you will succeed. No?
Thank you very much.
Yes. Same with Alejandra. I always have told Alejandra she's a little nervous about Washington, D.C. and all that. But I have told her, Alejandra, this is the opportunity
Can manage it.
life. You have to go. You're going to enjoy it. Your son is going to love it. No, and it's spectacular. And she's going. No, she's going.
That's really great.
And she's also learning Portuguese. And she has learned very fast too. She's also very good in languages. No, and yes, she's going to do very well. Carlota is not coming, Catalina, because she has
Okay.
another appointment. Because that's
Okay.
why this is the last forum of the year because now begins the festivities. It's Christmas, no, so it's difficult for them to assist or to
Yeah,
attend this forum.
I
So,
understand. It's okay.
but here we are, the ones that we are here. And why don't you finish and we can make some questions to your excellent presentation.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you if you want to ask some questions right now, it's good for you to participate as well.
Questions? Any?
Yes, I have one question. And first, Catalina, sorry for the delay. I have a lot of things in this moment in my mind.
Okay.
Sorry, and it's a pleasure and nice to meet you. And thank you for being here with us. Your story is so nice and so inspirational. And it's great to understand that the life put you in the exact place in the exact moment. So it's perfect. And it's nice to say to listen that because I am feeling so anxious in this moment. So it's great to know that. Now I have one question, and is how long are you there in Brazil? Sorry, I didn't hear.
It has been, I didn't tell you, I have been in here almost for 8 years.
Okay.
My studies in Rio were for 3 years. And then I came to Sao Paulo to study some more. I decided to do surgery in skin cancer with a specific technique, which is called Mohs surgery. I will explain to you afterwards what it is. And then I made some studies in dermatology oncology. So I'm actually more oncologist in dermatology than doing a dermatology general part. That's why I came to Sao Paulo, because I didn't have the opportunity to do this in Rio. The places where I could study surgery were like kind of closing at the time. And Bon, that's the second part of my of my of this forum. But I have been here for almost 8 years, 7.5.
Okay, thank you.
That's the question?
Another question? You
Juliana,
have to say
Amanda?
something.
Yes, I do have one.
Okay.
Of course.
To begin with, I really admire your determination and your spirit to follow your goals and taking such risks in your life, which may have seemed like very distant at the moment. And I also think you were very fortunate to have incredible people who could help you with your journey, like Ernesto. And my question is, what is the obstacle you believe to be the most difficult? And how do you think we can overcome it?
Thank you. Thank you for being here as well. The most difficult at the time was being far away from my family. And what I learned how I could overcome it, it was because I learned to appreciate even more and to love even more my loved ones. When you are far away, you start giving more value to your relationships and to the time that you spend with the ones that you love. So actually, now I think I have a better and a closer relationship with my loved ones. And when I go to Colombia or we meet each other in some other place, I really seize the moment, and I started knowing that the moment that you're living, like the present moment with them, it's the most valuable. I try to forget about other, or to leave aside other things that I have to manage with, like with patients or with other friends, or just to give priority where I am at the moment. I don't always get to do this because it's with practice, I think, and telling you to yourself that remember that you are in here and you have to be 100% of you is with them. Like I'm right now with you both as well. I have many things at this time, many things in my mind and things to organize. At the end of the year, I'm going to Colombia next week. We're moving from the apartment that we live to another one, so everything was like at the time. But it was important for me, and I could learn being far away from the family and being in here that I have to give priority in the moment that I am with the people that I am. And that's, I think, the best learning that I had to overcome this difficulty.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Juliana, do you have a question?
Okay, well, I don't actually have a question. I just have some comments. So thanks, Catalina, to share with us your amazing story. I think that we have to follow our dreams, no matter the circumstances, no matter the adversities. The same happened to me just 2 weeks, no, I guess 1 month ago, because for become graduated, we had to present an exam, and I was very anxious and I was very stressed out, but I really gave the best, and I tried the best, and I got C1 in my exam, and it was very amazing because I think that if you believe in yourself, anything is impossible. So I think that the most important thing is that you have to trust yourself, trust the things you know, and maybe some other people are going to come to help you. But if you don't trust yourself, you are going to, I don't know, maybe give up or something. So I think that your strength and your commitment is the best quality you have.
Thank you very much. And good to know about your stories as well, because I think in the world we are not just the only person who has difficulties. We are not. Everyone has them, right? At different levels and for different moments that we're passing through in our life. But that's the thing. And these difficulties are the things that we learn the most, I think, from them. Sometimes it's difficult. We get really anxious and stressed out, but then we start to understand that it's not so necessary to be stressed out.
Okay, before you continue, Catalina, I just have one little question. Okay. So you speak like a Carioca or like a Paulista?
For me, it's neutral.
Neutral?
The Cariocas, or the people from Rio de Janeiro, speak with the S, or like they say with an X at the end of the words, or and the Paulistas or Paulistanos from Sao Paulo, they speak kind of more neutral. So I sometimes, I don't have any of this. I don't speak Carioca, I don't speak Paulistano. I speak my style, I think, because they know I'm from another place. They know like I'm a foreigner. Sometimes they think I'm a Brazilian, but from another place different from Sao Paulo, like far, far away. But they always ask me, where am I from? And I make like an example is like in Colombia, the people from Bogota, that we think that we speak neutral, but we don't. We have a little like a music at the end of the words, as a friend of mine from Cartagena tells me. And the example is that, like the costeños, which would be like kind of the Cariocas, and the Paulistanos, which would be kind of the Bogotanos.
Okay. Okay, so continue with your story, please.
Okay, what else can I tell you? Okay. When I got to Rio and I met my Venezuelan friend, she got married with a Brazilian at the time, and they were both studying dermatology. And she was working as a general doctor in Brazil because she made the exams in order to validate her medical degree in Brazil in order to work. So when I knew that, I was like, oh, that would be so good. Maybe if I could work, I can pay for my studies, because I felt that I was like, my parents had the opportunity, and I'm really grateful for that, to help me with all my studies in Colombia, which was a private faculty, as well as in Brazil. But it's really expensive. And at the time, I was already a doctor and I had worked for 2 years, and I felt that it was good for me to pay for my studies. No, not for them, right? It was like the time for me to start paying my things, but I couldn't do it at the time. And when I saw my Venezuelan friend that she could manage to do this validation, I got thinking about it. And then when I graduated from dermatology, I knew that I was going to do something else in Brazil, because I wanted to study surgery. I didn't know where, but in Colombia, I didn't have that opportunity because they closed the place where I wanted to study surgery and oncology was closed for 8 years in Colombia. And it opened the year I arrived in Sao Paulo, the Instituto Nacional de Cancerología in Bogota, where you have like the dermatology oncology course for now. So since it was closed in Colombia, I started looking for other options. But okay, with this example of my Venezuelan friend, at the end of my dermatology course, I decided to present the exam and see how it would be. Without any expectation, I didn't have the time to study. It was a general medicine exam as well, which included gynecology, internal medicine, pediatrics, surgery, political, public and political medical issues, and some specific laws in Brazil, from medical laws in Brazil. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. We'll see how it goes. And it's a really huge exam. and you have to do your inscription, and you have to choose the place where you're gonna do it. So it has two steps. The first step is the written one, where you have 100 questions of multiple choice. And this one I made in Rio with other colleagues. And it was okay. I passed that exam. I really valued at the time the experience that we as doctors have in Colombia, because we, in order to work in Colombia, we have to do the rural. I don't know if you are familiar with this term. And in the rural, we have to do everything. And in our internado as well. So I had experience in all the areas where the exam was asking, like gynecology, pediatrics, general medicine, public health as well. And I think I could manage to get well the questions of the exam, because I had this experience, because I didn't study too much for this exam. So I valued like the experience that we have as medical doctors in Colombia. It's a really good train that we get there. And afterwards, we have the second step of this exam. And the second step is an oral exam, which is kind of a reality, like protagonistas de novela. I don't know if it's the same now, but I remember from that time. And I had to do that in another city. And this city is called Natal, which is in the north of Brazil. And it was 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, we got to the place, and then I saw the time. I was like, oh, no, it's good. We're at a good time. I was with another friend. But it was really, really, really hot, because it's a really hot place. It was really hot. So we stayed at a place where we had air conditioning, and we wait for the time that it was good to go to the other entrance. When we got to the entrance, they were closing. In Natal, they have an hour of difference with the rest of Brazil, and we didn't know about that. So it wasn't 2 hours of difference, it was 3 hours of difference. And we got there and we lost the exam because we couldn't get in. And it was me, it was like 30 people with me. There were as well some Brazilians, other foreigners, and one of the Brazilians was pregnant. And they were really depending on this exam. They were not like in my case that I was doing like, it's like, we'll see if I can do it. No, but they were needing to work. So we lost the exam on Saturday. Even though this happened, we came back on Sunday. And I tried to speak with the chiefs of the exam and of the government to explain to them that it was not clear for us the hour of the exam, and that in Natal there was 1 hour more of difference, but they just couldn't do anything. So on Sunday I got to the exam, and they put every one of us, we were like, I don't know, more than 500 people. I don't know if it was 1,000 or I don't know, but we were like 500 medicals presenting the exams, and they put everyone in a room, and we are divided in groups of 10 people. And when I made the line to get in the room, I saw a woman that she was kind of older than the other ones. And I was like kind of impressed about that. I was like wondering, what is she doing here? She's kind of older, but she's doing the exam. And then she received a call in her cell phone, and she started speaking Spanish, Bogotano. And I was like, oh my God, she's from Bogota. And then when we put our, the medical codes, it said dermatology, Universidad de Sao Paulo, in hers. And I was like, oh my God, she's a dermatologist at USP. That's the best place. I want to meet her. And when they started making like the groups of 10 people, She's called Maria Victoria. I'm Maria Catalina. So we were in the same group. And we started speaking. Then I knew that she was working in investigation here in a really big hospital in Sao Paulo. And I told her that I wanted to be a Mohs surgeon. And she was like, my best friend in Colombia does that. I was like, who's your friend? No, Pepito. Like, I wanted to meet him every time that I went to Colombia because everyone refers him as a really good teacher. And she was like, he was my best friend at dermatology faculty. And then we started making the exam, and it went really well for me as well on Sunday, but it wasn't enough so that I could pass that exam. But I got her contact, and I really love investigation as well. And the next weeks I called her and I told her that I was in Sao Paulo because of a reunion, and I wanted to meet with her to take a coffee, or if it was possible to get to know the place where she worked. And she was like, yeah, of course, it would be so great. You can come tomorrow at 8 a.m. I was in Rio at the time. So like, oh my God, I have to fly to Sao Paulo. How do I get to pay for a flight to Sao Paulo? So I called my parents and I told them I need to go to Sao Paulo. What? Are you crazy? I was presenting my how do you say, my thesis. I was presenting my thesis on Tuesday, and that was like Thursday, the week before. And my parents were coming to see me in my thesis on Monday. So it was like, it was like kind of Wednesday or Thursday. And I managed to get the plane ticket. It was really expensive for me at the time, but my parents helped me with that. And I had some spare money, so I put a bit. And then I got to Sao Paulo and I came to the hospital where she worked. And I had the idea of asking her if I could be her assistant in investigation in dermatology. She didn't know about this, of course. And when I got to the hospital, she was really busy and she couldn't receive me. So she told me, I'm going to present another colleague to you. He will present the place, how it functions in here in the hospital, in the dermatology department. And then as soon as I can be with you, I will get with you. I was like, okay. Then a colleague came. And he was also a dermatologist. I didn't know who he was or his name. And he started speaking normally. I love Colombia. I also studied with a guy from Pereira. I went to Pereira and I love Pereira. It was so nice. And where are you from? No, I'm from Bogota. Bogota is great. And he was so friendly, but he was an old guy, but he was really friendly. And he started to show me the different places, and he was like, in here we manage general dermatology, in here we have the pediatrics place, and now I'm going to take you to the surgery rooms. And I was like, okay. And in here in the surgery rooms we have the place where we train in Mohs surgery, the one thing that I wanted to do. I was so surprised. I didn't know that in that hospital they had that course. And he opened the door, he showed me the place, and he told me, you can come here to make your studies. And I was like, what? I wasn't here for this. I was just came to take a coffee with Maria Victoria. I'm not understanding what's happening, right? I was just thinking about this. And then Maria Victoria came and I saw her and I was like, I'm not understanding what's happening. So I told her, okay, I came here just to meet you and to know the place where you work and to take a coffee with you. And actually, I was gonna ask you if I have the opportunity to be your assistant as an investigation partner or so. And she was surprised. She looked at me like, and then I told her, I don't understand why this doctor that you just presented to me told me that you have the most surgery course in here and that I could do it in here. And she was also surprised. She didn't know about that. So she was like, wow, that's great. Well, I do need someone to help me with the investigation because the person who worked with me just has gone from the hospital and I do really need help. So it would be good if you could come and work with me. And at the same time, if you get your like train in surgery. So she's a Colombian. She has been living in Sao Paulo as well for a long time. And she guided me in the documents that I needed to study in the hospital. And I could manage that. At the time, it was like the last weekend, right? And in the weekend, I had organized the, how do you say, one of my best friends from Rio. She got engaged at the time. And me with another friend, we were organizing her, how do you say, despedida de soltera?
Bachelor's party.
The bachelor's party. And it was at my house, right? But then Maria Victoria and the other doctor asked me to stay until Monday in Sao Paulo because I had to speak with the chief of surgery. And I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Everything is organized at my house for the bachelor party. What am I gonna do? No one knew why I came to Sao Paulo. Everyone thought that I had like a boy in here and that I came to party in Sao Paulo for the weekend. My friends thought about that too.
Okay.
So I called them and I told them I can't come back to Sao Paulo. To Rio. I'm sorry. I have to be in Sao Paulo on Monday and I can't change my flight. So I won't get to the bachelor party. And they were really, really mad. Really, really mad. They stopped talking with me for a long time because I didn't tell them what was happening at the time. I just told them that I had an interview on Monday. So I stayed in Sao Paulo and I made like I had to go to some government places to ask for a permission so that I could study in Sao Paulo. Not everyone has that permission as well. You have to do the process. So I made all the processes and then on Monday I came back to Rio and my friends were really, really, really mad. They didn't speak with me. And on Tuesday, my parents arrived in Rio and on Friday, I got my dermatology degree. So it was all really, really quick at the time. That was like the second part. And that's why I think that, I had like a difficult parts. Like I wanted to study surgery in Rio. In Rio, there wasn't a possibility at the time. The hospitals were closing. For us as foreigners, we didn't have an opportunity. I met this other doctor, Maria Victoria, doing my exam, an exam that I didn't pass because I lost the hour. And even though something came from that. And what came? The thing that I most wanted to do in Sao Paulo for my studies. So that's why, even though we don't know how things get to manage, what we do think about and what we dream about, it gets to us in one time or another.
Okay, excellent. Okay, any questions? Because pretty soon Catalina has to leave. Okay, so why don't we make the last question and then we will thank Catalina for this wonderful time. I'm so happy and it was very interesting, Catalina. No?
Thank you.
Okay, so do you guys have any last question, please? Alejandra?
Yes, Catalina, no, your story is it's amazing. It's like okay, you can do it. So just keep in your mind the goal and you can get it, and it's wonderful to listen that. No, I just have one question, and I said to Ernesto, and which was the bigger difficult or obstacle that you have when you when you arrived to Brazil? Which was I understood that you feel a little sad because your family, but which was your the bigger trouble maybe that you had?
When I just arrived,
Yeah.
and my friend from the plastic surgeon received me at his home, he really lived in a risky place where when I got down from the taxi, and I didn't know Portuguese, I just needed for him to be there. And I got to his place and he was sleeping because he was really partying the night before and no one answered. So I was like 20 minutes waiting in front of the door without knowing how to speak or to ask for help for someone. When I remembered another thing. When I arrived in the airport, he told me, "You just call me and then I will know that you are coming." And when you get to the airport in Brazil, at least in Rio, there are no telephones. You have to have a card so that you can call. But there are not places where they sell the card. It's not like in Colombia, un minuto. No, that doesn't happen in here. And you don't have like little stores that sell you the card. And you need another document, a Brazilian document, to buy it. So I didn't find a phone. I just got in a taxi. I showed him the place where I was gonna go, and he took me. And when I got there, my friend didn't answer the door, and I couldn't speak with the porteros, with the doorsman, because I didn't know how to do that. So I had to wait like for 20 minutes. And the building, it was really antique and dirty and ugly for what I was accustomed to. And it was a really big contrast because he, as a plastic surgeon, he is one of he has really good money in Colombia and he has a really good condition. So for me, it was really difficult to see him living like in a dirty place and an insecure place. Then finally, when he opened the door, he told me, "You are welcome to my house, of course, and I will help you in everything. I'm sorry, but I didn't know that my roommate invited other people for the carnival. So my place is full." He lived in a room. It was just one room and like the kitchen part. It was like 30 meters. And the kitchen, it was one meter for 1 meter. Like the kitchen, it was just this little thing. Then you entered and it was the bathroom, and the bathroom, the the door didn't close well because I had the washing machine had to have the tube, and the tube came to the bathroom, so you couldn't close the door because of that. And then it was full. There were staying like 3 or 4 people in a play of 30 meters. There was just one room and some mattresses in the floor. And it was crazy because they were partying in the carnival. So there was this Rastafari who was friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of him, who stayed that night at the time. And I just wouldn't manage that. I was like, my God, where did I get? So it was really difficult because I didn't know well the language. And because even though he wanted to help me really well, they were in another thing. And I was just coming to make an exam. I was like, how am I going to concentrate in the exam, and how I'm going to learn Portuguese with these guys? So I started looking up for a hotel, and it was like the carnival time. It was really expensive, and I had to stay with them. and I slept in the same bed with my friend. We're really good friends, so for me it didn't matter. But it was like kind of the context that I was arriving to Brazil, that I had like the idea that Brazil was really much better than the Colombia. And actually in Rio, it isn't, like in the architecture things and everything. It's really antique. So I was kind of surprised about that. And that was the more difficult time that I passed. I remember that I went back out of the apartment and I got to the stairs when everyone went out of the apartment except one person, and I didn't want anyone to hear me. So I went to the stairs and I started crying a lot, like crying. And I called my mom through the Wi-Fi and I just couldn't speak. I was just crying. I was like, what am I doing here? Is it good for me to be here? Why am I crazy to be here? And she was really worried, of course. I cried for her like for 20 minutes. And then I was like, no, I'm already here. The exam is next week. So I have to manage. Something will come by and I think I can manage this. And if I'm here and I already came and I got to this place, it's for something. So I will make the exam and then I'll see what can I do. That was the more difficult part.
Thank you, because the next question will be how you manage, and you give me the answer, so thank you.
I cried a lot. My friend got home and he asked me, Kata, is everything okay? And I just didn't speak. I was like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And he was really worried because he knew that something was happening. But how could I speak to him? No, I'm looking for another place for a hotel, because I thought at the time that he would think, she's not grateful for me to receive here in my place.
Yes, okay, thank you, Catalina. Thank you.
Okay, Catalina and students, we only have 2 minutes left. I want to thank you very much. It was very interesting, Catalina. No, you should write your memories. I know that your life has been very interesting, believe me. No, we have had a lot of photos of friends of mine, but your story is so touching. No, I don't know, it's really nice. I loved it. Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much.
thank you. You can come to my forum anytime you want. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's hope to see you sometime when you come to Bogota next week. Okay. Even with the face masks, it doesn't matter. No.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, please, students, thank Catalina because she's leaving. The forum is going to be over. Okay, so let's say thanks to her. Okay. So you start, Juliana. We only have
Okay, so thanks, Catalina, to share with us your story. As I told you, it was very amazing. And it is also an example for, I think, Amanda and I that are just starting our career life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amanda, very
Thank
fast,
you.
please.
Thank you very much for sharing your experiences. I think it was very admirable how you have grown within these years with your career, and it's very inspirational. So I hope everything goes well for you in the rest of the years
Thank you.
that you have.
Okay, thank you. Alejandra, we have like 20 seconds.
Catalina, muito obrigada por
Obrigada.
sua conversação. Eu espero poder falar com você em uma nova aula.
Claro.
Muito obrigada.
Ok,
Não, eu que agradeço.
tá bom.
Depois, com a Alejandra, pode me ligar, porque eu acho que temos várias coisas para falar na sua viagem para Washington. Tem amigos que eu conheci em São Paulo que moram lá e trabalham na tua área e no BID também.
Perfeito. Muito
Okay?
obrigada.
You can get the contact with Ernesto and